Team Trump going on offense in the Ukraine whistleblower controversy. The president hammering Joe Biden and is accusing him of lying, while the former VP is firing back.
What Biden did is a disgrace. What his son did is a disgrace. The son took money from Ukraine. The son took money from China, a lot of money from China. China would love to see, they could think of nothing they'd rather see than Biden get in. What Biden did was wrong.
You should be looking at Trump. Trump's doing this because he knows I'll beat him like a drum. And he's using the abuse of power and every element of the presidency to try to do something to smear me.
Okay. Democrats predictably seizing on the story, even though they don't have all the facts. For example, a source is telling Fox News the whistleblower doesn't even have, quote, firsthand knowledge of what Trump said to the president of Ukraine. That, of course, is not stopping calls for Trump's impeachment.
It is time for us to call out this illegal behavior and start impeachment proceedings right now.
So, of course, it's an impeachable offense.
There is no way to defend the lack of progress on impeachment, especially after what we have just learned.
We need to absolutely right away begin impeachment proceedings. He's got to go.
But if the president is essentially withholding military aid at the same time that he is trying to browbeat a foreign leader into doing something illicit, that is providing dirt on his opponent during a presidential campaign, then that may be the only remedy.
And while the majority of the media is focusing on Trump's role in this New Yorker article getting new attention. It points the finger at the Democratic frontrunner, asking, quote, will Hunter Biden jeopardize his father's campaign? And in that article, Juan, they report that, although that Joe Biden said, I never talked about any sort of international business dealings with my son, Hunter says, yeah, we talked about it.
Yeah.
So that doesn't look too good, does it?
I think it doesn't look too good for Trump.
Why?
Well, I mean, everybody's investigating. This is not new about Hunter Biden and his dad. I mean, Trump calling the son a druggie, I didn't like that at all. But just forget that for a second.
You brought it up.
But the whole thing is just, Trump has a style, which is he goes on the offensive when he's under attack. And I think that's what we see. And I think Joe Biden's right. Joe Biden sees that he is the target of Trump's ire because Trump sees, and every poll indicates, Biden could beat him like a drum. But to me, the thing is, and I hope everybody at this table can agree on this, the White House should release the transcript because that's what the law requires. It's not a matter of argument. Yes, it is. It says that if the IG, the Inspector General for the Director of National Intelligence, deems this an urgent concern, it should go to the Congress.
But you know what? It wasn't deemed an urgent concern.
It was.
No, it wasn't.
The Justice Department
No, it wasn't, Juan. And I have
Justice...
U.S. Code 5033K
yes.
to say that it didn't rise to the level of an urgent concern.
That's what the Justice Department
You know what?
said.
Why don't we declassify everything? Maybe the president can't have any conversation with a foreign leader. He'll just release the transcript to the public. And you know what? While we're at it, let's declassify the FISA reports. Because,
why not?
Nothing was untoward there, right, Juan?
You know what, Jesse?
Doesn't go that way.
Barack Obama tried to use U.S. money to extort a foreign power into providing information on a political opponent.
Joe Biden just did.
No.
He's roll the tape.
Yeah,
roll it.
That wasn't extortion.
Roll the tape.
That wasn't extortion.
Roll it.
We're not going to give you the $1 billion. They said, you have no authority. You're not the president. The president said. I said, call him. I said, I'm telling you, you're not getting the $1 billion. I said, you're not getting the $1 billion. I'm going to be leaving here. And I think it was, 6 hours? I looked, I said, I'm leaving in 6 hours. If the prosecutor's not fired, you're not getting the money. Oh, son of a got fired.
Yeah, so he said, fire the prosecutor investigating my son, or else you're not getting $1 billion.
He also said that he never spoke to his son about this, which isn't true. By the way, the president has a right to talk about any problem. Who defines this is wrong? He's just pursuing a question. But, the media should be happy that he's trying to investigate a possible infraction. They should be applauding. But this is reaching pure parody when CNN trots out Carl Bernstein to say for the 400th time, this is worse than Watergate. It's falling apart. Imagine living with Carl Bernstein. The food arrives late at the restaurant. This is worse than Watergate. His iPhone charger isn't working. This is worse than Watergate. No dairy creamer. This is worse than Watergate. Does he get royalties every time he says that? But that's just one of the signs that this is all falling apart. The media's hair catches on fire too early, and we all get so jaded. We don't trust them anymore. I don't believe anything anymore.
Dana, what was that conversation between, I think it was Medvedev and Barack Obama, that was caught on the hot mic when he said, just give me a little more flexibility until after the election against Romney. And he says, yes, I'll transmit that to Vladimir.
Yes,
I wonder what that issue was. Well, he had no interest in that.
The other thing that happens is that this basically thrusts to the forefront two basic issues that the Democrats have been trying to stave off. The first one is Pelosi has been trying to hold off her caucus to and say we don't need it. She's like, I'm not for impeachment. She sends a letter then yesterday because I do think they jumped the gun, right? There, you could say, like, is this a good idea to be pressuring? Like, I don't know. Okay, fine. The president says he wants to release the transcript. He says he wants to release the FISA documents, too. So he has the power to do that. And I'm not for releasing these types of transcripts. I think that the president should be able to have that. But if it's going to go to this extent, release it. And then everybody can have the debate about it. The other one that the Democrats have been trying to stave off is the question about Hunter Biden's business dealings. That New Yorker article ran last spring. Nobody really paid that much attention to it because Biden hadn't announced yet.
Yeah, that's a good point.
And now he's in.
Now it's back.
It's classic deflection strategy. This is what always happens. Anytime anyone on the left does something bad, we get a leak as to how and why the president did something worse. Because the Democrats don't want to talk about Hunter Biden being on the board of a Ukrainian company or getting bankrolled by China or having his dad talk about, demanding that the prosecutor be fired. All of those are hideous subjects for the left. And you're right, they've been around for quite some time. That's why it's so frustrating for the GOP. I will say the only silver lining to this, however, is the now regrown clamor by some of them, including AOC, to start those impeachment proceedings because it's calling attention to the Civil War.
Well, yeah, but you know what? This could be all a Democratic strategy to get Biden out.
Ooh. Well, we are hearing that Hillary actually was behind the initial Hunter Biden leak when she was trying to scare Joe off in 2016. But you didn't know that one.